Hello everybody, welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tusi and this is your latest news update from the conflict in the Middle East. The Israeli government, according to the Defense Minister Israel Katz, are preparing to officially end the ceasefire, even though technically speaking the ceasefire has already ended because the Israelis continue to attack using Mossad drones inside Iran, mostly in the capital. We have updates on that. We have a number of new videos for you guys. And a lot has happened from the Iranian regime's perspective because they are poking the bear. They are completely going insane. And of course, we're going to cover all this in this live stream. Before we start, don't forget to download the 2CTV app, the home of geopolitical news. You get access to all the news alerts, live shows, documentaries, chat forum, everything that we have. Before we also do that, the early bird tickets for the new media conference has been sold out, obviously, but we now have released the standard tickets. This is a very important day for new media and our new media revolution all around the world. We're getting the new media outlets to join us in London on the 9th of August. You can get your tickets now by going on 2cevents.tv. I'll also do a shout out at the end of the live stream. All right, first things first. The Iranian airspace continues to be closed and restricted despite the fact that there is a ceasefire. Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader, is still in a bunker. Nothing has gone back to normal. Mossad drones continue to either successfully assassinate or sometimes an attempted assassination of more IRGC officials in the capital. Over the last couple of days, we've had big events. We've had that victory parade that they had, and they had their funerals. Now, about 5% of Iran support the Islamic Republic. Now, the population is over 90 million, so which means even 5% is a few million people. But they, despite the fact that the regime shut down all government offices and institutions and schools, everything for this ceremony, this is all they got. Now, in Tehran, there are 12 million people. Now, only about 5,000 people actually turned up to support the Islamic Republic in this square. And it's completely embarrassing. They couldn't even fill the square. Back in the day, they were able to, but of course, they don't really have that level of support. But the Israelis, the reason that the Israeli government are now preparing for, and I quote, a long-term war, is because of what the Iranian regime have been doing over the last few days. So let me give you the actual report of what the IDF is about to do. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, has said that he has now officially ordered the IDF to prepare for long-term action against Iran that includes stopping nuclear, ballistic missiles, and also their terror support for the proxies. He has warned the IRGC leaders directly, calling them the defanged head of the snake. Now, he didn't stop here, because Israel Katz, and I quote, he said, Operation Rising Lion was only the preview. After October the 7th, immunity is now over. So, obviously, as I said, this whole ceasefire thing is kind of nonsensical because the Mossad are still operating in the capital, mostly in the capital. There have also been some other drone attacks in different parts of the country. The Iranian airspace is still closed and restricted. The leaders are still in hiding. I mean, is this ceasefire? Is this peace? I mean, clearly it's not. We know that. But what the Israeli defense minister is talking about is an actual all-out war, again, with the Israeli fighter jets going back to Iran. That's what they are preparing now. Now, of course, over the next couple of weeks, they are going to be ending the operation in Gaza. Now, hopefully successfully, because a lot of people are saying, what does that actually mean? The plan apparently is, with the help of the Americans, to obviously control the humanitarian aid, capture the Hamas leaders and force them into exile, and of course get the Arab countries like Egypt and UAE and others to come and control Gaza and rebuild it. So once that's over, if that is successful, then we can actually start seeing more activity when it comes to the Islamic Republic. Now, this is one of the things that happened last night was in the western part of Tehran, the air defense was activated again This is the area that's the home to a military compound and also a ballistic missile site, which has now been under attack once again. Let's go. This is a shout out to Iran International. So that's still ongoing, despite the so-called ceasefire, and the global media is not reporting any of this. I mean, Iran International is reporting this because their focus is on what's happening in Iran. And the rest of it is that you have air defense being activated almost daily in Iran. Assassination attempts happening almost daily in Tehran. And everybody's going around pretending that everything's gone back to normal. Now, one of the main reasons that Israel Katz and the Israeli government are saying that the IDF needs to now prepare to completely, officially end the ceasefire, as I said, I'm not really sure if there is a ceasefire now, is because of what the Islamic Republic are doing. Number one, the Iranian parliament officially suspended cooperation with the UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, the Atomic Agency. It's now officially in effect. They've completely cancelled their cooperation. The UN inspectors are now banned from entering Iran's nuclear facilities. This has reached a whole new level, much worse than pre-2015 when Obama signed the original Iran deal. Even back then, the Islamic Republic were pretending to be transparent. Yeah, sure, we could have inspectors come in, everything's fine. Now that this technically conflict has been paused, they've gone completely insane. Not only they're not willing to actually negotiate properly, they've completely suspended the relationship they have with the IAEA. Iran also now says that the chief of IAEA, Grossi, is no longer welcome. He's banned. They're refusing his entry to allow surveillance at the nuclear facilities. Now, the move obviously follows the claim that sensitive nuclear data was found in Israeli documents. Now, they're basically saying that we don't even trust the Atomic Agency. What the other thing that they're doing, not only they have suspended the relationship with the Atomic Agency, not only they banned the chief of IAEA, they've also now decided to remove all the surveillance cameras, all the CCTV from their nuclear sites, claiming that, of course, Israel will be able to get access. So we are no longer going to be telling anybody in the world what we are doing in Iran. Now, President Trump could go out there saying everything is fine now, we kind of destroyed their nuclear hopes and ambitions. But firstly, we do know that they still have a couple of secret facilities. Secondly, we do know that they have moved some of the material. Thirdly, they want to restart the program anyway. This time, they're not even going to be cooperating with the international bodies at all. So they are poking the bear. And President Trump could step back, fine. But Israel is saying, well, this is still a threat and we're going to have to go in. It's not really just about nuclear, but it's also about the ballistic missiles. And it's also about the fact that the proxies are still being funded and supported. Meanwhile, they had their stupid funeral in Tehran for Mohammed Bagheri and all the others, the chief of staff. A few thousand people attended this mass funeral for the top 60 military and nuclear officials who have been eliminated by Israel. They were in the middle of a funeral. They were chanting "Death to America, death to Israel," the usual nonsense. Apparently, this is now a peaceful nation, right? Let's go and see what their stupid funeral looked like. Imagine the smell of BO in that place, in that crowd. The Shia Islam, oh, it is a very, very fascinatingly weird set of traditions and attitude, and very, very doom and gloomy and masochistic and miserable. Anyway, last night, the Islamic Republic reported another drone targeting an apartment building in Tehran, in the capital. This was yet another assassination attempt by, clearly, Mossad operatives on the ground. The Iranian regime are continuing their efforts to do their manhunt in terms of all the Mossad agents and assets in Iran. It's very difficult to find out exactly who they are. Some of them have been caught, apparently. The others are just simply Iranian people who've been protesting, and they just arrest them and they just label them as Mossad. Everybody's apparently Mossad. If they had actually arrested all of them, then these drone attacks would not be happening right now, but they're still happening. So who is doing it? We know who. Meanwhile, on the issue of Islamists and Islamism, the problem is not just in the Middle East. The domino effect is showing all around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a global problem. This is infecting all our societies, even in the Western world, especially in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Glastonbury Music Festival is a huge music festival in England that happens once a year, which is now. There is a human called Bob Vylan. Now, this human, the whole Glastonbury festival is basically a political nonsense at this point, right? It was supposed to be about music, but it's all about politics and Marxist flags and Palestinian flags and everything, right? Now, they do their political chants, I don't care. But this weirdo, Bob Vylan, started inciting violence. And the BBC actually reported it, because the BBC was actually broadcasting this live. It was really awkward for the BBC. They had to show it. He initially was chanting, like, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And then he started saying, death to the IDF. It got really, really weird. Watch this.
Free, free. Alright, but have you heard this one, though? Death, death to the IDF. 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 Death, death to the IDF.
Free speech is free speech. Inciting violence and calling for people to get killed, a little bit illegal. In fact, that is directly inciting violence compared to Lucy Connolly, who is a woman who, during last summer's protests and riots in England, she simply posted on social media being angry and being rude, and she simply said, I don't really care if you, as in like British people, if you're angry, if you're gonna attack mosques or whatever, just do it, I don't care. That's all she said. She didn't say go do it. She didn't incite it. She was just basically blasé about it. She said, oh, it doesn't really matter. She's in prison right now. She's still in prison. And her appeal failed. My message, which I posted on X to the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, I said, hey, Yvette Cooper, will Bob Vylan get arrested? It's a fair question. Because free speech, obviously, is very important. Inciting violence is not free speech. It's illegal. We know that. You could say free Palestine. I don't care about that. But saying that, Jews need to be killed, that's the whole different thing. But then we had this weirdo who's clearly a product of incest, allegedly, I'm guessing, I don't know, right? Some might say. Suleiman Ahmed. Some of you might be familiar with this creature on X. A very, very dangerous creature. He decided to attack me, saying, Zionists, as in me, are now trying to get Bob Vylan arrested for his free speech. Okay. The irony is that Maya Tusi has the audacity to put free speech in his bio. These people are a walking contradiction. The problem with Suleiman Ahmed and the others is that it's not their fault. They are low IQ. And when you're from the certain cultures that you have low IQ, the problem with that is that you don't understand how law and order works in the Western world. Even if you live in the West, you don't know. It's not their fault. They don't actually understand reality. So I simply responded, inciting violence and calling for people to get killed is not free speech, you incest-loving creep. This is the West, not the Islamic Third World. We have laws. Done. Now you would think this should be straightforward, but no. Apparently it's controversial. Complete insanity, guys. Anyway, as I said, we have sold out our early bird tickets for the new media conference that we have. On the 9th of August, which is about, 40 days ago, 9th of August in central London, we are going to be sending a huge message to the establishment and the mainstream media that we are coming and we are the media. We are gathering the new media outlets from all around the world to come to London for this massive rally. And a lot of you guys have already booked your tickets for the after party. It's been sold out. We've released the new batch for the standard tickets. You can now go on 2cevents.tv. Of course, a limited capacity. Please get your tickets. Come and support us. And actually, you enjoy the whole day. If you go on the website, you get all the details of what you're going to get. There's going to be music. There's going to be a lot of panels. There's going to be speeches. There's going to be game shows. There's going to be prizes. There's going to be me. It's going to be drinks. It's going to be crazy. 9th of August in London. It's going to be absolutely insane. Trust me. So book your tickets now. Anyway, where are we with you guys? Super chat time. Have you always had ats with the usernames? This is weird. Okay. As an American, I am fed up with the US stopping Israel from ending the regime countless times over the years. The thing is, the Americans, again, the US doesn't have to get involved. And it shouldn't get involved. The US, the UK, nobody wants to see US troops and their boots on the ground. That's crazy. And it's not needed. What the Americans need to do, just step back and say, well, if Israel's going to do their own thing, defend their own country, let them do it. And they're fighting our fight. That's the only thing. Now, of course, geopolitics is not straightforward. There are many reasons that, for example, President Trump would say, at this point, don't do this or do that, and vice versa. We can sit here and judge. There are other things that are happening. And sometimes there's a lot of bluff and double bluff and triple bluff. Anyway, we got more super chats, Chris. And does Israel Cats play a keyboard by any chance? They don't want peace. They are filled with too much hate ongoing for the better part of over 1,000 years or more. Yeah, it's part of the ideology to just think about death and misery and violence all the time. It's just hardwired. Will Trump address the Nicaraguan and Venezuelan regimes' close ties to Iran? It's already been addressed many times. And the fact that Hezbollah sent operatives there to escape the IDF. Everybody's aware. Everybody knows what's going on. South American issue needs to be addressed separately afterwards. And South American countries, including Venezuela, will be the safe haven for these nutters for a while. But Maduro is not going to last. I can assure you, yes, he might have been very tyrannical over the last few years. That thing is not sustainable. When Maria and others come back, it's going to kick off completely. The Brits have shown their weakness to the world. What do the Brits do now? All the guy does is lies. Could be any guy, by the way. Anyway, let's go to the members. Where are we with the members of the channel? There we go. 2CTV Plus members. All right. The ceasefire was a mistake anyway. It was predictable that Iran keeps yapping and going nuclear. Yeah, I mean, I have been surprised. What they are doing now. This kind of shocked me. I thought they're just going to pretend that, hey, okay, so we could do negotiations now. Or just frenemy. Don't really threaten America anymore or whatever. They continue to threaten America. Now they banned the IAEA, the Atomic Agency. Now they're doing their own secret enrichment of uranium. No one knows exactly how to stop them unless you go back in and do a military action. They don't want to negotiate. AFC says, is the break of ceasefire backed by Trump this time? Well, we haven't heard from the president on this. And I think publicly he won't be in favor. But I think it's going to get to a point where enough is enough will happen again. Even the White House will have to say, well, the Iranian regime, we gave him a chance, they're not really cooperating. But you have to give it a few days to find out exactly the White House's reaction. It's not surprising, really. Iran needs a regime change, and the Ayatollahs needs flushing down a brown stink hole. Also, what happened to you earlier today, Maya, during the rally live stream? Oh, yes, I forgot to actually mention that. Yes, yeah, earlier on we were in London reporting from the protest against the grooming gangs. Unfortunately, I had to disrupt my own live stream because I had some bad news and trouble when it comes to family, especially in Iran. That's still being dealt with, but I had to leave and left the live stream abruptly. So apologies for that. Just family stuff that I've had to deal with. Loved seeing the Tutsi flag at the rally today. Oh, Vinny. It was Vinny, one of our supporters. He's a great man, by the way. Keep up the good work. You and your team do give us real news. Do you have a single older brother? No. There's only one Maya Tutsi. The scary thing is our governments not vetting people. There are 2 billion Muslims. So even if 10% are extremists, that's 2 million. After 9/11, can't grasp why our governments are so ready to let anyone in. I think it just started as stupidity and bureaucracy, and now it's just completely out of control anyway. That is a very good point. I mean, in terms of, I think Douglas Murray mentioned this a few times back in the day about, because it's a huge population, even if a small chunk are extremists, like actual extremists, like terrorists, that's still a few million people. So this was taken by another media journalist after the rally. Is that guy naked? What's going on there? It's very out of context. Okay. Thanks, AJ Audits. Susie says Israel must not be stopped by anyone until the rightful leader takes his place. Long live the king of Iran, Am Israel Chai. Yes, I agree. I found the ceasefire announcement weird. Up until then, the idea was doing great. And then it all got a bit confusing. Today's rally reporting was suddenly suspended. Any update? Yes, I addressed that. No, yeah, it made no sense because the day before Trump was saying, it's very difficult for me to tell Israel to stop because they are winning. And then suddenly change. So as I always say, don't just take Trump's word on the surface. It's always just wait for the actual action. So even right now, whatever he's saying, the rhetoric from the White House is everything's fine, we destroyed the Iranian nuclear facilities. Doesn't mean they actually believe that, and doesn't mean they're just going to stop there. Things could change, even from the Americans' perspective. Nice wrap on that coffin. I wonder if they do cars. Sadiq Khan follows Bob Villan. Yes, on X, speaks volume. Yeah, it's not a good look for Sadiq. I am ashamed of Trump's behavior of late. Hopefully Netanyahu knows something we don't know because Trump helped Israel. He didn't end the war. How's your dad? Dad's okay-ish. But yeah, no, I mean, the whole Trump thing, you have to just wait because before the whole conflict started, people were saying, oh, what is Trump doing? And then he actually did the war. So he does surprise us every now and then. We just have to find out exactly what the big plan is. I think right now is to get the Arab world to be happy, to be stable, so that they could come and sort out Gaza within the next 2 weeks. I think that's the plan. And the Arab world needs stability in the region in order to go and sort out Gaza. So I think that's one of the main reasons that there's been a pause from the White House when it comes to the conflict in Iran. And this Bob Villan knows he's a villain. Yeah. Do you think we need to prepare for another season of bomb shelters tonight in Israel? Not tonight. No. The Israel Katz defense minister didn't say anything about imminent attack. He's ordered the IDF to now prepare for long-term war. They haven't given us any timeline, so we'll just wait. It could be any moment. It could be the next week, next month. I noticed this earlier with the @ sign on other YouTube channels. Not sure what it is. YouTube has changed something. Not sure what. Yeah, I've noticed the @ behind before the usernames. So, hey Maya, maybe by his ceasefire, Trump wanted the IRGC to show the world that they are not interested in peace. This way, Israel can let. That's the other thing. That's a very good point as well. I mean, I still think my theory of getting the Arab world to be stable to sort out Gaza, I think that's also playing a role. But what this person says is also definitely a very good point and could be true. Going back to some of the super chats. When will you talk with Armin from Atheist Republic? I don't know who that is. Waiting for your stream with Armin. What? Who's Armin? Why are we getting multiple super chats from different usernames? Peer pressuring me. The more you say it, like the third person says, you're going to do live with Armin. You know, the more you say it, the less it will be likely for me to do it. Because I'm a contrarian. If you tell me what to do, I'm going to do the exact opposite. So you can keep spamming it. It's not going to happen now. Are the rumors of Russia giving Iran nukes true? Well, Russia denied those claims. Putin was like, whoa, we're not going to do that. The idea was that the proposal is for Iran to send their enriched uranium to Russia, so Russia would protect it, and then Russia could send, the yellow cake, and obviously to help with the actual nuclear energy. Obviously, the Iranian regime don't really care about nuclear energy. It's just an excuse, but that's what Russia is proposing. Got a couple of super stickers. Everyone, I downloaded the 2CTV app. Long live 2CTV. Yes, it's a very good point. Don't forget, download the 2CTV app, the home of geopolitical news, to get access to all our documentaries. We're actually going to be releasing a couple of very important shows over the next couple of days. An interview with Ben Habib, the former deputy leader of Reform UK, but also a couple of very important documentaries and original series. One is about Poland, how Poland has saved its country and is showing the best case study to the rest of Europe, how to be strong, how to be traditional, and how to keep your borders safe. There's also a couple of other things. There's a new documentary we're going to be posting soon, hopefully next week, which is about the faith deficit, which is about, of course, the Christian values in Europe, in Western Europe, going down over the last 100 years, but it seems like it's coming back up among the younger generation. All that on 2CTV+. 2C, love your work so much. I will mimic many here, and we would love if you collaborate with Armin Navabi, Atheist Republic. I'll go check out the channel and do a show together to speak about the current situation in Iran. I mean, we are a news channel. We don't do collaborations, but we have a podcast on 2CTV+. Perhaps we could do something with that. But the more people tell me to do something, I'm not going to do it. His name should be spelled Bob Villain. Yeah, but that's the whole joke, isn't it? My friend's dad escaped prison. They're not sure which one. Well, in Iran. He was put there because he had a pretty Christian daughter, and an IRGC official wanted, and she escaped the country. Well, that's a bit of a mess. That happens quite a lot, unfortunately. A lot of Jews have now been arrested in Iran as well, which is not good news. Anyway, don't forget, get your new media conference tickets now before it sells out. 2cevents.tv. Check out the website with all the information that we have, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.